You know what? 1 second. It's a little better. I still have light bleed. Oh, that's better. Ooh, ooh. All right. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Stream monitor online. I don't know why that was so difficult, but it was. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Well, I'm up for doing whatever anybody else wants. I'm just gonna work through these problems, work until we get to a place where it's not fun anymore, and then move on. Now, one thing that we need to figure out is I believe I am struggling with WASM WebSockets, and the I don't know if it's the Rust implementations of what WebSockets for WASM, or if it's I don't know. I don't know. I guess is what I'm saying. Or if it's WASM and WebSockets, which I would find much harder to believe. Much harder to believe. Um, I do know that there's a WASM runtime, and maybe there is something to that runtime that has a setting that kills a WebSocket every 20 seconds. I couldn't find that. I searched for it, I couldn't find it, but there might be something about the runtime that's killing it. I don't know. All I know is that I've done several tests with just pure JavaScript or and whatnot, and it works just fine. So I don't think it's the browser, and I don't think it's my server. So I think for today we're just going to make it out of React. We're just going to make it out of React and TypeScript. We also have the null cloud um, microlith part. So we can start working on this. So this is written in Go, and yeah, we can start working on this. Or the Twitch application, the Twitch alerts, we can actually start working on like some more of the configuration. I know that we really lightly just piped everything together. So yeah. So yeah, you let me know what you'd like to work on, and we'll start working on that. All right. So let's see. We're going to get service by a service name. So it's gonna get I don't know that this is exactly what we want. It's gonna get the service with the exact same name as our our null application. Is that what we wanted? Is that what we wanted? Oh, my daughter's forgot my daughter was doing some math on here. Is that what we want? I was wondering what I was coming here to look at this. So this is the thing that we're looking at right here. This. Um, so let's say it's called my app. Um, the service would take the name of this. Okay, so no, we don't want it to have the yeah. Um, or Twitch Kafka or Twitch Listener, which is the project that's there. So we don't want it to. So this is not correct here. We'll need to make our own namespace named based off of this here. All right, so in here. Okay, yeah, here we go. We want, do we want, we could make one service for all of them, couldn't we, though? Okay. Maybe I was going about this wrong. Because we could put all the routes in one file. I feel like that gets messy. I feel like it gets messy. I feel like I want to do it per service. So we could do one service that then had routes to each of the addressable, the public routes, um, to each of the things. But I think I'm going to do service, service, service. Yeah. Okay. So we need to get the microservice spec, get its name, and build a service name out of that. Okay. All right. I don't know where I'm clicking. There we go. So we have our null application here. Guess we should probably return here. Okay, so let's see. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted namespace name. Namespace space. Is it a D? I think it is. Namespace name. No, not the requests. I actually want to create a new one of these. Where is this? Um, this type defined. It is defined. Let's see. API machinery, namespace name in types. Okay. All right. And this is not what we want, actually. Yeah, good afternoon for you, Russell. How are you? Like I said, I have everything from Rust, Go, and TypeScript. So let me know what you'd like to see. I'll jump onto that. I'm just doing the Go part right now um, of the service. Okay, so this is not quite what we want. So we want trying good trying to work out how to create my own start money versus dumb money indicators. I don't know what smart money indicators you're talking about, or I guess you're talking about dumb money indicators. I don't. I'm not sure I understand what you're. Oh, so I'm a dumb money indicator then. Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so we need to get this name. So this is actually for every single. I guess we maybe put this in a loop. For uh, I don't want to use the word service because there's Kubernetes services, but I am referring to this service. So I guess it's a microservice, but seems like it's ever getting a long name. Microservice in the rain. Oh, yeah, nice. Nice Copilot. Create a service for each microservice. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. You had it. Okay, well, you stopped having it. Okay. It's just a workload. That's right. It's just a workload. Thank you. That's a good name. So basically, I'm just taking this custom resource definition and building an application off of it, building a null application off of it. Um, so this is basically there would be an API, an authenticated API that somebody like you could hit, and if you if you wanted to create a new service, you could, and then you'd hit this you'd hit an authenticated API that would basically write this custom resource definition right here. Um, and this would create your database and keep a status and everything of it, or not your database, your application. All right, so yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Your application apps. It's called apps. My goodness. All right. And then here, the workload name is, it has nothing to do with, should we concatenate the big app for the service? I was going to make this service name, I guess the service name should be this, or this name plus service plus service. But should this be first? Should it be like this name plus the name of the service? Maybe that's actually what it should be. Okay. I'm going to write this down in the code here. So service name should look like this. That's actually really close to what I was thinking. But null application name. Okay, now it's starting to get there. Null application name, microservice name, and I go back and forth on this. I think that for this case, I'm going to put service type here. Service type, service name, or not service name, but service type. So if it's a service, a Kubernetes service. Now, the reason I go back and forth on this is you can do, kubectl get services, and then you have a bunch of things with service on it. But you can also do things that don't just get services and get a bunch of stuff. Now, they also list their types. I don't know. This just seems clean. This way, you get a bunch of things that are named the same. This gives you a unique name. I don't know. No, we'll leave it without the service. That's dumb. Like I said, I go back and forth. So we'll take the null application name plus the workload name. All right. And we will get the service based off of this. Now, we need to check the error of this because if it does not exist, we need to create it. So I don't remember. There's a handshake how to do that. Cube builder resource does not exist. I think it's in their quick start guide. Let's just go to their quick start guide. Getting started documentation. Beautiful. I was hoping they had these as like an example or their demos, but this looks like scripts demo, which I don't think that those are what I was looking for. Maybe it's under docs. Okay, I can just really quickly. this example should have an example of it. I probably could have just figured it out by guessing at this point. Uh, I just thought that they had a nice little like. I feel like I remember that there was a got you, like there was a you have to check for this too, but maybe not. All right, so this is important right here, and that's because if you don't do this, this is basically if this doesn't exist, if the thing that we were told happened. Now we need to actually handle deletion eventually, but that's another thing. So if it's deleting, um, unable to list child jobs. Okay, so let's see. It should be in here. Um, okay, we'll just figure it out. I thought, this might not be that bad. So we just need to check the error type, and that's in the Kubernetes error. We don't want to do that. Errors. But this is Kubernetes errors that we need to be. Is that the errors that we've imported here? Let's see. No, we haven't. We haven't. So let me actually look for that. Finalizers is what we need to do for actually deleting. I'll open that up in a tab. This might be it. This is why I like Rust errors so much better. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. So I can't parse it. It's not a strongly typed error. I don't think that if you can help it, you shouldn't do like the boxed error. Um, if you're doing like an API or like a module, because it runs into the same problem. You have an error, but what are you supposed to do with it? Ah, here we go. Okay, so if it's not found, it means we're creating this whole thing. So we just need to create a service. Now, we've already created these templates. This is our service template. Did we test the service template? I don't know. Wait. Code Blue, am I not in software and game development? 1 second. Oh. All right. I found out the problem here. Thank you for letting me know that. Um so I've been using Restream and they don't have the software and game development category. They have a science and tech category. So let me find that on Twitch itself, which I don't know where on Twitch to set that category. I'll find it though. There's got to be a button. None of these buttons seem to be it. Edit stream info. There we go. That should be it. Software. Done. Done. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So we have this template. I was playing around with it. I made this is something I do, especially with operators, which can be a little bit painful to test in a cluster. I just made this quick thing the other night to test printing out a service. So this is how, and actually we did test the service, so that's nice. This is actually why, instead of using Rust for this, I decided to go with Go. This is one thing that I really like with Kubernetes, because instead of needing to have the entire service structure, we literally just made this template right here, and this template gets parsed by this structure. So like it makes managing these things really easy instead of really painful. I mean, this is still painful because in the end, part of your code is part YAML, like a YAML template, which is maybe kind of gross, but I have found it to be the easiest way at the moment. Oh, I'm gonna blow up with views now. I am not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I appreciate your optimism. I appreciate it for sure, but we'll see about that. I'm neither the best Go developer, nor am I the best Rust developer, nor am I the best Kubernetes developer or TypeScript developer. Actually, I'm probably one of the worst TypeScript developers that actually streams. Most people know the language before they stream it. Um, not me, not me. So, yeah. So, okay, we have these, and we actually have how to use it here. So let's go ahead and start making our. I'm just going to copy and paste this since this is already here. Oh man, this is beautiful, beautiful. That's what we need to do here. So if it doesn't exist, we need to create the template. We just need to import this. Come on, add the import. Beautiful. All right. Now we don't want to put this to OS out because we actually want to read this ourselves. We want the document that's printed, so we'll just need it's a IO writer for that, which we can create with a buffer. Why do you keep selling me on Tailwind? I thought I showed you why I was done with Tailwind. So I experimented with Tailwind, Code Blue. I experimented with Tailwind. And you know what? I have a project in Tailwind that I will play around with every once in a while, especially when Monta is on, because Monta has been a longtime supporter. Appreciate the dude. I don't get Tailwind. I tried, but I tried to give things a chance. I legitimately gave it probably, if I did it consecutively, a whole week's worth of time. It just got really messy. Um, yeah. All right, so let's since we've talked about Tailwind, let's talk about we need to get a buffer here. We need to get a what is this? We need to get a byte buffer, right? So I think what we can do is we can get a byte buffer from a string, right? So let's do template out. No, that's not what I wanted. What do I want? Template output. We're just going to do like an empty string, right? And then we're going to do. We are going to do a buffer. Yeah, I think that's. I think no. Yeah. That's perfect. All right, so our template output is going to hit byte buffer, and then we can put that byte buffer into an IO string, right? I think so. It's an IO writer, I believe. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. There we go. And now we have something we can write to the Kubernetes service to create a service for this. Now, most likely, if the service doesn't exist, our the application also doesn't exist, but that's fine. We'll jump onto that later. So now we have this, and we can do check if errors nil. I guess for right now we'll just panic. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the only reason this fails is if our template's wrong. So this is probably a good fail fast here, I think. Oh, honestly, when we get some logging set up, it's probably, I don't know, this might be fine still. We'll think about it. So one thing, Code Blue, that I've been trying to do is I'm too contemplative on stream. It's hard to stream in front of people, and so it's like I sit here and think a lot. And I just need to type more. I did this to have fun typing more. So that's what I'm going to do. And get to do some code that I haven't been getting to do as much. So we need to create. There's a create function here, and we need to create. Oh. Oh, booger. I'm not sure if I've done this correctly. So I parse this into a string, but what I really need to parse it into is a structure. So I need to serialize this as a service structure. Man, I don't remember how to do that off the top of my head. It's been like a year since I did any real operator programming. Golang string YAML string to struct. This is pretty simple. Parse YAML with structs. All right. The structs already have these the YAML on them, so that's good. Here we go. I believe Kubernetes has their own marshal and unmarshal, but it doesn't matter. I don't think. We'll find out. We'll find out if it matters. We'll find out. I don't think it does. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, right? All right. This should be after the error. All right. So this is our service. V1 service. And Y is a terrible name. So this is our app service equals a new V1 service, and we're going to unmarshal this from this. Can we just pass the byte buffer in there instead of making a byte out of? I'm not sure. No new variable on. Error equals this. That's what I was. Cannot use byte buffer, a variable of type bytes as buff. Okay. Can we just? Is there like a two? Does bytes buffer to array of bytes? I feel like that's also a possibility. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Byte buffer to array of bytes. Go. I haven't touched Go for like a year. Man, this feels bad. Like, I feel like this is stuff I should know off the top of my head. No. I want to. Oh, it's just bytes. Okay. I figured that there was a simple one. If I had just typed period, if I had only tried. All right. Gen 2 is greater than Arch. If you want to get me into a fighting mood, you have to understand that I'm new to Arch, so you picked the wrong one. You picked the wrong one. You know, I'm not actually. I've what? It's been like, I don't know, 5 months, maybe not 6, maybe not like 3 or 4 months that I've been on Arch. So, now you'll have to understand that I have a sorted history with Gen 2. So when I was first trying to get into Linux, because I was a Windows dev for a long time, I thought that was Bitcoin. I thought that I've been doing the heating all wrong. I used Bitcoin instead of Gen 2 to heat my basement this winter. Um, so long story short, when I was first getting into Linux, brand new to Linux, somebody recommended that I use Gentoo to learn. I don't think they understand what you need when you learn, because when you're trying to learn, you need something that kind of works easily. And that was not my experience with Gentoo. That was not my experience at all. Oh, okay. Yes, I was trying to utilize my GPU to heat. Also, Code Blue, my furnace died, and so there's jokes about how I was heating with Bitcoin and computers that abound this winter because we were freezing. Um, yeah. So I have been tainted against Gen 2 since the beginning because I had a broken computer for like weeks where I was like, I was told if I wanted to learn to do this. And I think what they meant was like if I really wanted to learn the inner workings of of Linux, go with Gentoo. I then switched to Ubuntu for a long time. I used Ubuntu. I still use Ubuntu at work because in general it just works and I don't want to fiddle with my OS. I just want something that just works. Um, and I've just been learning Arch because I wanted to learn Linux a little bit better. I know Linux well enough for like Ubuntu and whatnot, but I feel like, and I'm not saying that I couldn't learn it on Ubuntu, but I feel like because of the it just works all the time for the most part. I know that other people don't feel that way. For me, I've never had a problem with it. Um, yeah, for me, and so yeah, you weren't here when we voted, and so a lot of my community does Arch. So you could have voted if you were here earlier. Right. I actually wouldn't mind doing a Linux from scratch sometime. Probably in the VM. But I think that would be a fun stream. Maybe I think the Linux from scratch is not a bad idea. Um, I'll put that on my list of streams too. I want to do that. I think that would be a great learning experience for myself. And probably valuable for some other people too. All right, what was I doing when we got talked about this? Okay, so we were just unmarshalling the JSON. Yeah, we have this. We got this. We're calling create. I don't know why I put so many new lines here. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that actually would be a fun set of streams. I will plan on doing it. I might find some time when I have some extra time. Yeah, if I end up having some extra time sometime, I might set it aside to do that. Like it would almost be fun to take a Friday off and to like two long streams back to back doing it. I don't know. I don't know if that would be good or bad, but yeah, I generally have vacation time. My I generally don't take vacation nearly as much as I should. So I generally have vacation time that I can take. All right. Let's see. This looks good, right? We do. All right. Now the problem is we create the service, but we haven't. Oh, this is also bad. We need to create this stuff off of the actual stuff. So the application name. Is just the workload name. This is just the workload name. Workload name. And if we look at our template, where is our template? Service template. Our app name, it's going to be we did the customer ID. Oh, we already have the namespace. That's fine. Okay. So for the name, we're doing just app name in here, which is wrong. Because based off of what we've said that this should be the null application name microservice name, which is its name. So now we could do this two ways. We could do it here where we concatenate them here by passing in this workload namespace name. Its name. But I think it would be better to actually just do this in the template. So I'm going to take this just as a template. And so we really need the null application name. Oh, so another thing, I have my video. So I'm doing my next null video. I'm editing that today and tomorrow. But I've been working on AI code assistance, and I've been trying to come up with some tests that will quantify how well an AI code assistant works. And I need your guys' help. I need it for other languages like Java and whatnot to come up with challenges. So if you guys could do that for me, this was actually a fun one that I have now. Is I made a template. I made this service template, and Copilot generated this struct for me, which was fantastic. None of the other AI ones did it. So I'm looking for challenges like this that are a little outside the box that are really going to push what they can do. I have standard Java things for them to do. So I'm really looking for, again, other languages. I just say Java because I don't know Java, but if you guys know of some and have some challenges, they can also be for Go and Rust. They can also be for Go and Rust. But if you have some challenges that would be good and maybe even quantifiable, that's what I'm really looking for. I'm really looking for some more quantifiable things because I have my feelings, but they're a little bit harder to quantify sometimes. So, anyways. So we want null application name and the app name for the virtual service. That means we also need see, like, this is again what's hard to it knew based off of me adding up here, which again is not true of any of the other ones, which is why I say Copilot is at least at this point by far the best. Tab 9 doesn't do anything with strings, unfortunately. Tab 9's a good runner-up, and I would support them if I was paying. Well, I am paying Tab 9. Unfortunately, I am paying Tab 9. But if I had to pay between the two, I'd probably pick Tab 9 since I get Copilot for free. Yeah. All right. Let's see. And I need to get this set up in NeoVim. I played around the other stream. I played around with Helix. I didn't like Helix very much. I was told Helix kind of just worked. I need to get NeoVim set up. I haven't used NeoVim for I haven't been like a real developer for like 2 years now, as I've gone more into a little bit middle management. And I need to get NeoVim set back up or set up. Oh. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Old Advent of Code. One I will look for ones and make sure that they already have publicly available solutions. And I can also give a warning in the video that if you haven't done this that year, there's spoilers. Possibly spoilers. Possibly if it's Code Whisper, it's just gonna throw random crap out, and you don't know if it's right or not. It's the worst. It's the absolute worst. Oh. Oh. We're gonna leave customer ID as my customer because we don't have a customer ID. This needs to be passed in externally, so everything is gonna be the same customer right now. We don't have a concept of a customer. Also, how good are they with mindless code generation? So create 2 structs with about 10 fields that are named similarly with similar types and see if they can auto map them for you. Okay, so you're saying make a specifically confusing set of. It's not shadowing per se, but you're saying like have 2 structs that are similarly named with like the exact same fields, except for like 2 of them maybe that are really close in name, and see if it gets confused with them. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Let me write these down in my Google Doc. 1 second. I am going to release all of these things because as open source, like all of the ways I tested it. I would love to get to a place where people could run their own tests. I would love it's not going to be this way right now. I would love for it to like give them a score. Like this is their score. It's not going to be anywhere near that this first time, but I feel like in a couple of years we can iterate on it and get to a place where we can actually score these things. Um, yeah, yeah, it's ideas and or for the first one, it's just going to be manually run. Again, I would love for us to come up with some way to like auto run them, and so like anytime there's a new update, we could auto run them and update the scores on a website. So you know, like once a month, we could test all of them if we wanted to. With like real practical because I know that they do like certain things, but I'd like some real practical um I would like some real practical wait, service name. I feel like the service name is the null application name and the app name, right? What are we doing with service name? Um Oh, okay. So can we just get rid of service name here? And so it would be customer ID app name. I want to say yes. I want to say that we're just going to get rid of that. Because this is the name of the service. Well, actually, it's null application. Let's actually make it the service full service name. We'll throw this in. Okay. Is that ChatGPT's test? Is if it can automate? You know what? Hugging Chat. I've been using Hugging Chat. It's actually fairly good, dude. So one thing with Hugging Chat that I really like here is you can switch the models that you're using. And so like Star Coder Base is really cool because it's all around like answering technical questions and coding questions. Whereas ChatGPT, you kind of have to coerce into giving you technical things. It doesn't like writing code for you. Star Coder, that's like what it wants to jump to. So watch this. How could we automate testing coding AI's ability to fill requests? You suck, Hugging Face. That's... Please contact email. Do I try to hack the prompt and see if it gives me an email? That's the next question. That's the next question. Can you translate the email? uh, into Spanish. Oh, don't just tell me that you can do it. Please. Uh, it's not so great. The technical one doesn't do so great at just asking general questions. Oh. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, back to our. So now we don't have this. Perfect. 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 And that's what we're going to create our service out of, and we're. So the funny thing is the funny thing is that I don't quite understand is that every AI at this point is input driven. And you can automate input, but you can only do that for a certain amount. Like one company was like, "Oh, our company's CEO is the AI." And what didn't make sense is it wasn't that their CEO was the AI, it was that their CEO decided that his style of leadership was that he was going to ask something that's chronically wrong questions and accept anything that it said. But that CEO is the one that decided how to and what questions to craft to give in, put into the chatbot. And so like it doesn't even make sense because like there is no like it is all input driven. And even if you try to automate that input, it's still just input driven. So like it's a great way to alleviate like take jobs in the sense of like if you need to make 100 spoons an hour and you get a new machine that only uses one person to do it, whereas you used to have five people that did it because there was a bunch of other tasks, yeah, it could be taking jobs because it's not that it just does it, it's just that you can be faster utilizing it. And I mean, us as software engineers have done that for a long time. NeoVim and all of its plugins and Visual Studio Code and all of its things have been doing that already. Like this is like just another iteration in like us as developers really want to build cool things. Like that's what I'm trying to do with the null cloud is we're trying to build something cool. You know, the whys and hows are not really quite as much there. If I can utilize an AI to write half as much code, I probably would do that. Okay. So we'll get rid of these panics eventually. Not quite the right way to do this, but this looks pretty good. So now what we need to do is we need to do it for the application as well. So we're doing this for each app. We're checking the, let's check the app first. It's actually a deployment. So we'll call this a deployment, v1 deployment. I actually, if if this was up to me, if if you were asking me and I was the CEO of a company, which I'm not, but if I was, when that day comes, that is the take I would take. I could, let's say it makes every dev 10 times, let's say for every 100 devs, I would only need 10 devs, but I could hire 100 devs. I would keep those 100 devs. This is actually why I've questioned some of the moves Google and okay. So there's two things that are going on with like the big cloud providers. Not only did they hire too much, so like Google, I would say is a chronic overhire. They, it's not that they overhired. They didn't have things for those people to do. Because in my opinion, if you can afford it and you can get ahead and out ahead of your competition, you should. Like that's just like a no-brainer. So it's not that they overhired, they just don't know how to manage a workforce of their size and they don't have things for them to be doing. Which is a shame that that's what it came down to. So I mean, yes, I think that they overhired because they didn't know what to have the people do. But I think that's a different problem than just saying, oh, they overhired for the work that they had to do. Um, Big tech isn't pushing forward with anything other than AI. I agree. It's also narrow minded. Super narrow minded. Dude, I have made this argument. I would say that it's more than just the last 10 years. Big tech hasn't been releasing new things, they acquire new things. They acquire new things. And yeah, maybe the clouds are new-ish, but even then Rackspace was kind of doing it. AWS just did it better and showed a maybe not better but even easier way. um People will point to like Google as innovative. And it's like, well, let's talk about Gmail. Didn't they buy Post Any? Let's talk about Google Maps. Didn't they buy that mapping service? They're not inventing things. Which is why I don't even know why they have like the internal Google or X team that does nothing, because they're not actively inventing anything. Um, Android, they bought it. I don't know. I would say that it's been more than 10 years since they've really been innovative. No, they bought YouTube too. That's what I'm saying. You know, I just I think the big tech people really lost their way. They don't they don't want the risk of innovating something new. Yeah, they don't want it. They just rather buy it afterwards, which I actually think is a shame, because they hire some really great people that could be innovating these things, which is probably the biggest problem. And they hoard them. And I think they hoard them partially so that they don't compete. But that's a rant for another time. If it was me, I would continue to have the 100 devs and be get that much more done. 100%. 100%. All right. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Just that right there. All right. So there is a case that we need to handle here. Is it is found? We need to um we need to update it. Their engineering culture is weird, like an empire building factory. Dude, I don't even understand that. I don't understand Amazon's release of some of their best Rust developers, because they actually have a bunch of Rust stuff. Like, they actually depend on it. And yeah, I don't understand. I don't know Tim, but I do know John. I always call him Gerset, but I know that's not what his name is. I've heard it pronounced before too. But yeah, John makes some amazing YouTube videos. Um, Absolutely amazing YouTube videos. I think he streams. Um, I think his YouTube videos are just his streams, for the most part, but some amazing streams. Oh wow, it even got the deployment template. Let's see, does it? Ooh. Is it going to go through all of this? No, no recommendation now. Okay, okay. Well, it did pretty close. It did pretty well. Just weakness in middle management. Didn't they fire all their middle management? Oh wait, that was Facebook. That's gonna be fantastic. Um, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that was Meta, Facebook. Sorry, I still call them Facebook, but yeah, Meta. Um, it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes as middle management, you're not given a choice, and sometimes you do fight. I can talk by experience. Um, Sometimes you fight and lose your job because you fight. So I can talk from experience. So like I don't know. I don't know. To me, um, middle management kind of sucks. You get the shaft of both sides a lot of the times. A lot of times that's my feeling on it. Middle management isn't properly, not always properly empowered by the leadership. Um, so I feel like if you want a highly successful middle management, you really need to be empowered by your superiors, and that doesn't always happen. Well, that's awesome, Russell. That's awesome. Uh, that's great. And I'm not saying that happens all the time. I am telling you that some places, and I wouldn't expect Amazon to be knowing their culture. You tell upper man, they tell you let go 5 people of your team of 10, and you tell them no, and then they say, okay, well, we'll see you later. You're part of the 5. I'm just telling you from experience, you can fight tooth and nail, and they can say, well, if you're not going to do what we say, then we'll see you later. And I mean, that's their prerogative. You are there to do as they ask, to follow through what they do. You can disagree with it, and you can have your moral complaints about it. But in the end, that's what it is. And that's why I think it's so important to empower your middle management. Because they're the ones that are having to make the tough decisions, and middle management's the ones that also take the brunt of the blame from the people. Now, not always. I've never been blamed by the people that work for me. People that work for me have always, but they know that I fight for them. Uh, and I think that anybody that's worked for me would work for me again in the future. Um, but I was just going to say that it doesn't mean that upper management will listen to you. And when push comes to shove, they shove much harder than I can. I don't know that I'm a good middle management. I think, I don't know. All right, let me get back to this. I don't know that I'm good at it. Right, that's why I'm saying they really need to empower their middle management, because and part of that is listening to them. If you don't listen to them, it doesn't matter. If there's an edict that you do this and there's no way to even voice your issue with it, then there's that. You can't even come to the table where that decision was being made. A lot of places will make the decision without talking to their managers, and then it's just an edict, and then you can give your feedback, but you still have to follow through with the edict. So yeah, again, I think it comes to empowering your teams. All right, so this failed a little bit. We need app name, customer ID, and image. Is this correct? Oh, we changed up naming a little bit. So our service name was the application name and the app name, the null application name. I think that's what we want for our deployment too. I think that's what we want here as well. So we'll throw this in here. Yes, I agree. I agree. If you're having middle management and you're not having them part of those conversations, why have middle management? If you just need people to agree with you, it's not that useful. It's not that helpful. It's not, yeah. Just about anybody can say yes, sir. Very few people can come up with a constructive reason why they disagree with you. And those are the people you should put in middle management, and the people that know the people, not the people that will just say yes to you. I would want to hire people in middle management that would actively want to disagree with me. Not saying that we'll always come to an agreement, but it's fine to have a disagreement, and I would want that. They are the people that are closest to the people. They're the ones that know what it's going to do to the morale. They know, yeah. Oh wait, let's go back there. Was this? So our name is back to this. I think we should update our app name to this as well. Everything should be this. And our namespace should be this. Right. Yes. Yes. This should be our namespace. Let's go back to the service. Oh no. I screwed it up here too. This should be like the null application. They should all be in the same namespace. They shouldn't all be in different namespaces based off of their names. I guess maybe I've just been, man. I was just thinking about it. It's like I have I don't disagree. I think there's pockets of it. I know some people that work there, at some of them, and I think some of the middle management has done a really good job of cultivating a good environment. Not all of them, but when you get to a company of that size, there are pockets of good, and I think that it depends on where you're at, which pocket you're in. Okay, I don't know why I'm okay. We have null application name, app name, customer ID, and the image. Beautiful. All right. So then we need an image, which comes from the app name. So work image. No, we actually have, what is it called? The workload image. Done. Done, 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 done. All right, so that should be this. It's declared but not used. That's fine. We're going to parse this template. That's fine. Now we need to do the, we need to make the buffer. So we'll just do the template output. Nice. Buffer, template output. Nice. Execute with that and the deployment template that we created here. So now we're combining. Okay, let's not name this T. Um, let's not name this T. Let's do. I want to say deployment template, but that's what we called this. Um, this is really the deployment variables. So let's rename this to like deployment vars. Deployment template. And there we go. Not saying it's great. Not saying it's great. I think some of it is sometimes it's one of the places where you can go to actually get that type of experience. So like I don't know. If you want to work on a game console, where do you go? You go work at Microsoft. Like if you want to program on an OS, I mean there's Linux, but if it's not Linux, you go to Apple or Microsoft. There's not many other places that you can go. If you want to go work on the C# programming language, like you don't have a ton of choices, and so I think sometimes that's what drives you to go there. Um, Again, you could do a lot of those things for open source, but then to get paid for doing them can be difficult. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it can be difficult to make your living, and if that's what you really want to do and work on a day by day basis, I really want to work on clouds, but I don't want to work for some of the major clouds. So I'm making my own open source project, but I don't get paid to do it. So like yeah, I can see that. It would be interesting to architect stuff for Azure. I think that would be really cool. But yeah. All right. So we have our template. Now we just need to we need to parse it in as YAML. Yeah. So looking good, looking good. Looking questionable. Looking good. What do you not like about this? Undefined deployment. What? Okay, so this is painful when dealing with Kubernetes. This is in core v1, but I believe deployments in app v1. So app, and sometimes this can be hard to figure out where it is until you just I'm good. I'm good. I've done this before. This is so ingrained. This can be one of the more painful things to figure out where to import to get a deployment. I think I don't know. Maybe there's a good way to do it, and I just don't know it. I think I think cloud. I think enabling people to run their applications in. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's what I'm saying is like there can be a draw to work for those places even with its downfalls because it's the thing that you want to work on, and getting paid to work on that thing can be difficult. And so yeah. I yeah, I think that create returns an error, right? Yeah, yeah, it does. I hate Go. Let's just go ahead and panic with the error. um, but yeah, that's kind of. I also think that I have a somewhat unique take on it. So for me, I'm really interested in helping people deploy things. Um, and I don't mean like just how to deploy a container. That's fairly easy. But I mean like building an architecture that's not overly complicated, but also works, and understanding that, and building a cloud that's not just like, oh, here's a virtual machine, have fun. Um, where it's around like, hey, you have this idea and you don't want to worry about how it runs. You don't want to worry about how it runs. You just want it to work. Kind of like Firebase. I like the idea of like Firebase. I don't like Firebase itself, but I like the idea behind Firebase. I don't want to deal with all of that. I just want something that empowers me to make my application. That's what I want to make. I want to make a cloud that does that. That empowers you to make the thing that you want to do. But I also don't want the lock-in. One of the things I hate about Firebase is the stupid lock-in that you get. With I used Firebase, now I'm screwed. Is there a secret to this? I had a huge issue with this once. I, oh, okay. Are you talking about a secret to finding a company that doesn't suck, that does what you want to do? I don't know. I haven't found a secret to that. If there's a secret to this here, um, I don't know. I just actually went through the code. That's how I did it. I just go to the Kubernetes project code, search for it, find the path, boom. That's the secret I use. Um, and then some of these you start to remember, like Core V1 and Apps V1. So Core V1 has a lot of the stuff around services and things like that. And Apps V1 has things like pods, deployments, and things like that. Replica sets, and maybe that's it. Maybe jobs are in Apps V1. Jobs might be in Apps V1. Um, yeah, stateful set. So again, though, I just go to GitHub and do a search. If there's one that I'm specifically wanting. Apps and cores are the ones that I remember because those are the ones you use a lot. And yeah. So the 1,000 lines daemon sets in here. Okay, I might have guessed daemon set. Again, stateful sets, deployments, all of those are in here in the apps, and then core has a bunch of the stuff like let's see, has a bunch of stuff like, oh yeah, persistent volume claims, I forgot about that, are in here. Services, the Ceph stuff is getting removed, so I wouldn't touch that. Actually, I thought it was removed. This might be on 125. It's removed in 126 or 127. But yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that, honestly. I mean, I still do. I again, the best way I have is just to brute force search it on GitHub. All right. So, this looks pretty good. We create a service and we create a a application for that service now. Let's clean this up into a function though. Because we can basically do these two things for each one of these. So, and that will be simpler because this to do shouldn't be in the middle of a thing. So let's do that. We'll make it take a. Let's see. What does it need? It needs. Yeah, we'll just make the function and we'll see what it needs. It's not create deployment, but it's more of a update deployment, check deployment. Yeah, we'll see. Delete all this. That was kind of garbage, I think. We do want it to be part of this. We do want this reconciler because we're doing like Git and stuff. So that is needed. All right, now what's all right, we pass in the null application and the workload. Why are these erroring? Undefined. Oh, this is not how we imported them. This is not how we imported them. Types. Wait, is that not how we imported them up here? Maybe it's not. Oh no, types is for the this is the Kubernetes types. Oops. This is how we did it. All right. My bad. There we go. Oh, it's not workload. It is null application. That is our workload. Maybe we'll rename it in the type. All right, and now we don't have this namespace name. Do we want to create it or do we want to pass it in? I think we'll just pass it in. Because it will be the same for service as well, or anything else that we do with it. Okay. That's done. Workload.image. Why is this? Workload undefined. Workload.image undefined. Oh, I'm passing in the wrong thing. That is not what I wanted. I want microservice spec. My goodness. That's like our whole thing. That's what this is. Yeah, okay. All right. Cool beans. Missing return. Yeah, what did this make? Okay, as error. Okay. So we just return nil. And now that is not what I did not mean to hit that. I wanted nil. Now, the nice thing is we can actually just return here. Instead of these panics. And we can choose what to do with it in the panic. Nice. Getting a little bit better, one step at a time. Honestly, these probably should move out to their own file here soon. Maybe not. I kind of like everything that's part of this reconciler to be in the same thing. So we can move pieces out that aren't part of the reconciler, I think. Okay, so let's do this same thing for our services. Check deployment service. Why I say check is it doesn't actually tell us. So the Kubernetes operator is opinionated in the way that it doesn't actually tell us what type it is. So it doesn't tell us if it's updating, deleting. It doesn't tell us what changed. It just said there was changes, and it's up to you to figure out what those changes are. Yeah, it's fantastic. I actually disagree with the design choice, but that's fine. I disagree with a lot of people. All right, so I think we'll just copy and paste this in. And that should just work because we already have the stuff. All right, so now all we need to do is call these things. For each workload, we're going to check. Hey, look at that. This is better than panicking. And you can actually do like a requeue. So in this result here, if you want, let's say like there's some sort of transient error, like that like, so one thing could be is like you need to do one thing, and until that one thing could take some time, and until that happens, you can't do the next thing. If that's the case, and you get the error that signifies that that's what's happening, you can in this result here, you can actually tell it to requeue and how much time to requeue after. So basically, if you return an empty one of these, it's not going to requeue. But you can give it a requeue, and you can give it an amount of time to do that with. So by default, every operator runs once per day if there's no changes. I think it's 24 hours. You can also change that as well. So all right. I'm glad it stopped doing the panic. I'm glad. That was check the deployment service. So now we want error check deployment. Workload. We are giving it the workload namespace, the null application, and the workload. Yeah. It's unable to update deployment. So we're failing to update it for some reason, or failing to check on it really, because I mean, honestly, you could fail here. This needs to be return error. You could fail here, and this is actually just building the template. Or I was going to say you could fail on here. You could fail here, or something. There's also updating and stuff. There's places it could fail. You could fail on checking for it. Fail any one of these things. Okay, cool. So I think we have a fully operational operator, which is our battle station. Okay, so that those creates our deployments. Let's get this running. Let's see if it builds. Let's see if it builds. make. I think it's make. Maybe just make. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's fair. I did update this. So one tip I have for people who are trying to make an operator, you can run it locally, but it still has to run on a Kubernetes service. And if you're wanting to play around with something, just a piece of code to see how it works, and if it's working the way you think, I love putting this main package in Hack. And basically it just allows you to go run hack hack test, and you can actually see how it parses out. Because if that's all you want to do and you want to see how, if it parses how you think it should parse, doing it inside the operator is really painful. So I really, if you're looking at doing an operator, I really recommend doing this. People probably disagree with me, but I find it fantastic. Okay, let's make again. We have a kind cluster. Good, good, good. Okay. So then you can do make install. This is going to install our CRDs for it. So now we can do kgit custom resource definitions. And you can see that they have our custom resource definition in there. YAML, I believe, yeah. And you can actually see the definition of our thing. Cool. Nice. All right. What is the command? Vim. I forget the one to run locally. I don't think it's run. Maybe it's never mind. Maybe it's run. Maybe it's run. All right. Uh-oh. 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 Is trunk running? Trunk is running. We had trunk on. My goodness. We're good now. We're good. We're good. I've left trunk running for a day now. Usually I shut my computer down, but last night I did that. I did that big update. I did the big update. So I just had that run. It was kind of half useless. The reason the stream was a little late this morning because I forgot to tell it to just say yes. So it got through downloading everything. So it was pretty fast this morning. All right, cool. So now really all we have to do is apply something to yes, update. Apply it a manifest. I believe we have some examples. Let's open up our example though. Not these examples. We need to actually make an example. So in config, they make one, but I don't like it because it's not actually fully filled out. Not that. Let's see. Default maybe is where it. Nope, this is not it either. Manager. Oh, maybe it's samples. Yeah. It's pretty much nothing. So let's go fill this out so that we can actually make one and see if it creates services for us. Because in the end, we should apply this and it should go make services and an app for us, which is going to fail unless we give it a real spec. So what do we need? We're going to make this split screen and we're going to pull up our app. No, not there. We're going to pull up our application and we're going to start filling out our spec. So our null application spec has an app name. So app name. Let's see. This is going to be our app. Yep. Our app version. This isn't actually implemented yet, so it doesn't matter. This is a way for us to keep track. So like we're going in our cloud, we're going to have a version. This is going to be able to sync and make sure that we know if it's up to date or out of date or needs a rolling update, whatnot. I know Kubernetes has stuff in there, but this is going to be managed exteriorly. So yeah. This is probably also going to be a git hash is my assumption, I think. Sure, whatever. And then our app. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, I screwed this up. This is application services. Ooh. We'll need to update that. It's already installed though, so we're going with this one. We will change this apps here. There we go. That's much better. So we'll do name Bob, image engine X, and routes. We don't do anything with routes, so we'll just leave it at this. So let's apply this one. So it's under samples, config samples. Okay, apply dash. All right, let's see how it failed. Oh, it did something. Oh, YAML unmarshal errors. Cannot unmarshal stir. I don't have a 500M. Oh, this was erroring before we applied our thing. Okay. Null application namespace default, reconcile error. Let's see, line 20. Line 20 in null application controller. Oh no, it's line 20 or 82 in the null application controller. So let's jump there. Huh. Who would have thought it was possible? I wrote a bug. It wasn't perfect the first time. Line 82. Okay. Oh, perfect. Line 82. So in the check deployment, let's go back here. Let's see. Cannot unmarshal string 500M. All right. Where would it be doing that? So, it's in this check deployment service. And the only marshaling we do here is this. Oh, I know. Oh, wait, this is the deployment service. Okay. One second. It was line 82, which was the check deployment, not the deployment service. All right, here we parse the deployment, and the deployment has this. So it's upset about these. Why is it upset about these? Why is it upset about those? One second. Let's go back to the error. Okay, I think this is probably because it's part of a template. That's going to be my guess here. Is if you look here, there's not quotes around it. So maybe we need to do single ticks here. Single. Honestly, I feel like we could. Yeah, just we'll go with single quotes. Really, there should probably be single quotes around all of these, but we'll try that. Okay, that didn't help. So can't unmarshal. It's not that it has a problem with this. It's marshaling into quantity. Isn't I don't know. What am I missing? What am I missing? Isn't this normally? I feel like Kubernetes unmarshaling is always a pain. Excuse me. My goodness. Let's Google this. Let's see if somebody else had something like this. Ooh, let's ask Hugging Face GPT. Oh no, it's in Spanish now. Help! Help, Hugging Chat! Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. That's not what I needed. That is not at all what I needed. Ah, I need to use Kubernetes YAML parser. Gosh dang it. Oh, the error was this. Cannot unmarshal string 500 m meters, 500 m into resource quantity. But I mean, this is correct. And what I'm finding is that I didn't use Kubernetes YAML parser. So I need to use Kubernetes YAML parser. Perfect. Perfect. My bad. I think I said at the when I was writing this that I shouldn't use um the standard YAML parser, and then I did it anyways because I didn't know off the top of my head. I don't know where my application is. I didn't know off the top of my head where the Kubernetes YAML parser was. So I mean that's my bad. My bad. Okay, that should fix it. That did not fix it. Oh, but we have a new error. We have a new error. Let's see. Invalid namespace. Oh. Oh, I have slashes instead of dashes. Yeah, you slash and dash. Let's see. This is good. This is good. We need to check the namespace first. Good error. Good error. We didn't catch it. I forgot about that. So back to here. What we need to do before all of this is check if the namespace exists. Oh, except I assumed everything was in the same thing as our application, and our application is in the default namespace. So all of this should have the same namespace as this. Oh, so actually what I need to do is this right here. Done. Ah. And I need to remove that from the templates. Like, there shouldn't be anything in here asking for a namespace. Nothing in here is getting a namespace. Perfect. In the templates, the namespace should... let's see. The namespace is here. Oh, interesting here. Interesting here. I'm assuming that this is the namespace that I put it in. So do you know what? I need to make this namespace and actually deploy this to our sample here. So let's go into config, samples. Here we go. And what we need to do here is put the namespace in here. Namespace. And this is going to be, what did we say our customer ID was? Our customer ID was, what was it? I want to say it was like I forget what we said it was. We just hard coded that crap. My customer. There we go. My customer. That is the oh. My customer dash application name. And this app is our app. Our app. All right. We won't have dashes in the customer. This is going to be a GUID. So like this isn't a problem here. In theory. It's not a problem. Because yeah, this looks stupid right now, but we'll get past it. All right. So this is our application name, and now this should parse properly through this because customer ID, whatnot. Application name, and wait. Our application name is set by this, and our application name is our app. So I might need to make install at this point. Let's do a make. Let's just do a make, and then we'll do a make install. And then we'll have to update our CRD because now instead of application service, this should be apps. And now we need to actually apply this new one. Okay, delete CRD. Okay, get. Okay, delete CRD. All right, that's deleted. Oh, we still haven't created the namespace. Oh, but we shouldn't have to because our CRD should be in the namespace that we need. So we'll need to create the namespace right now because we want to uh, apply this here, which is in this namespace. So our cloud will have the call to do this, to make this CRD, we're going to have to create the namespace for the application as well. It's going to have to deal with that. We'll see where we deal with that. Is it in this operator or is it in the web service that handles the requests and creates the custom resource? I'm not sure. Okay, create apply dash. Oh, I don't know why I'm not just doing. That should fail. That's why I wasn't doing it, because oh, well, we need to make install first. Make install. Oh, I deleted the CRD. I didn't actually delete the null application. Get null application. Okay. Maybe I did delete it as well. Okay, and then what I need to do is create the namespace. Nope, that's not the namespace. This is the namespace. Now we can create unknown spec.apps. Didn't I change that? Apps, json.apps. I ran make. Let's see. I ran make right here. See? Um make uninstall. Make install. I feel like it's because it's under this V1 alpha one, but I uninstalled it. Right? Hmm. Well then, I'll show you Kubernetes. I will show you. Install. All right, so obviously it's not getting regenerated, but why? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't think I saved it. See the little white dot? Oh my gosh. I've had to save it by now. Oh no, my camera was in the way. I'm sorry. That's okay. It's hiding my shame. It's hiding my shame. It's hiding my shame. Okay. The namespace doesn't exist. We already. I deleted the Kubernetes cluster. So okay, create namespace. All right, namespace. There we go. Now apply. Now it creates. Now it creates. Let's run. Let's run and see how this works now. All right, still failing. Still failing. That's fine. My customization null application sample not found. Okay, so this is a bad template parse. I'm doing something bad in a template. Let's see. In controller 82. Okay, so this is still with the deployment. But it's a bad deployment parse. Let's see. Namespace is customer ID. No, it's not null application name. Yeah, it is null application name, right? Yeah, null application. Oh. Oh, wait. I see one mistake here. One mistake already. One mistake already. There we go. That's fixed. But this was in line 82, which is in the deployment. If we jump back over, not there, here. 82, yeah, this is in the check deployment. I'm not sure how it did the check service because the service namespace should be wrong. My customer, null application name, app name is workload name. I'm not sure I understand how I got this. Okay, so namespace, my customer, which is the right one, null application sample is the wrong one. Null application sample. It's saying its app name had to be null application sample, right? Because, or no. The null application name. Are we passing in the wrong application here? Passing in the null application there. The null application here is the null application. Okay. And our null application name up here in our sample. Oh, it is null application sample. Oh. It's not this name that we're looking for. It's this name that we're looking for. That's the problem. That's our problem. We're looking for this app name, not the metadata name. My bad. My bad. That's in the spec. All right, so this is .spec app name. And that's going to be wrong here too. Oh, that it was wrong there. It's going to be wrong here too. All right, now let's run that. Oh, the cone of shame never gets old. I deserve that one. I deserve that one. Did it work? Did it work? We can test it. K get services dash. We'll just look at all of them. It did not work. Now, this might be because it's not running again. So let's apply it. Let's apply it. It's unchanged. Thank you for being too smart for me. Let's go change it. Let's go change it to V2. Since this doesn't actually affect anything, but it will make the template successfully change. It's configured. We failed. We failed still. All right. What did we fail with? What did we fail with? The deployment already exists. We shouldn't error with it already exists. I have a to-do, right? Let's see. 82. That shouldn't be an error. If it's not found, we create. And the to-do, it is found. So it's like it got here, didn't find it, and then tried to create it, and it already exists. 1 second. Let's see if it actually exists. It does exist. Let's look at services. Doesn't exist. So it does already exist. So that means our search here is wrong. This is not getting the right thing. Oh, look at this. Our app Bob. It is the wrong namespace. It's in the wrong namespace. I did a boo-boo up here. When we made this namespace name. Right here. Because we said that the namespace name... Oh no, we did this right. This is the requested namespace. So the namespace that we're setting everything to the namespace of the custom resource definition. How did it get my app Bob? Where in this am I setting the namespace? I'm getting it based off of this namespace name that I pass in. And I'm creating that namespace name right here, which is just the request's namespace. Which should be this. My customer, our app. Oh, it is in that namespace. Why did it fail to find it? Why did it fail? My customer, our app. My customer, our app. This isn't the right namespace. Our app Bob already exists, and it does. Maybe I'm looking for the wrong name. Let's look at the name here. The name that we use for checking the deployment. Let's see. Check deployment. We're giving it the namespace, the null application. Oh, I know. We are checking the wrong. We could put a thing here, but okay, I did actually put the spec.act name. I updated this. And the workload app name. I feel like maybe... Oh. We're using this whole name. Look what we did here. That's not the right name. The null application plus workload name isn't the name that we want, right? That's the null application plus the microservice name, which its name is our app, which is the app name, and Bob, which is the service name. Okay. So what this is going with is, if you remember in here, one second, I'm trying to get it. We have an app named Bob, and our whole application together is named our app, which has multiple applications. So the namespace is my customer, our app name, but the name of our service is our app dash Bob, which is, it's named correctly here, our app dash Bob. But let's see if that's holds true here. So for this, we're doing the null application. This we failed right here. This is, we're getting the wrong thing here. This is .spec .app name. That's where we screwed up. Let's go ahead and apply that. Oh, we just need to run again. We're gonna need to update our manifest. Let's see, v3. Not 31, just 3. Okay, and we'll just apply that here. Okay, apply. Yep, that looks good. Let's see how it failed now. Oh, wait. Did we not fail? Okay, get services -a. Didn't create a service, but that's okay. Okay, get deployments dash. Wow. All right, let's delete this one. Let's delete it. And now let's apply another change. We'll just go back to v1. So now our reconciler would have run again, and we can do, we don't, so in the future, well, that's why I deleted it, because it would hit the to do and do nothing. You're absolutely right, Russell. That's why I deleted it first. Now, one thing that we need to do is we actually need to listen to updates on deployment. So basically, when a deployment gets deleted, we need to see, or if some a status update happens to a deployment, we actually need to see if it was part of one of our deployments and actually do stuff to that. So I'll show you guys how to do that. That's kind of fun because you can map one of these to a custom resource definition. That's fun. It won't be today, but that is definitely something that we'll do and is kind of interesting. All right, let's see. Shoot. Oh, well, let's see if we have one now. And it created it. You can see that it created it 68 seconds ago. So it is working. Let's see if service is working. I don't think it was last time I checked. It's not creating a service. Oh, it's not creating a service. It's creating a virtual service. And probably should be failing because it's an Istio thing. And I don't think I installed Istio on my kind cluster. So I think this should not work, but we can do kget virtual services. Yeah, it doesn't have a resource type of virtual service. Do I not get an error out for that? Maybe I'm swallowing that error. Oh dear. This is all sorts of wrong. I make a V1 service here. Yeah, okay, so we're like halfway there. We got one working. This needs to be... So I think what I need to do is I actually need to not use this, and I need to actually just send YAML. This is actually one trap that I always find here, is I don't want to pull in Istio to get all of its type definitions. And really, I just want to send the YAML. Or make it JSON. I'll parse it in as JSON, and I just want to send that. Because right now I'm marshaling this into, yeah. I can't believe this is kind of working. It's kind of working. How is that? Oh, I just never call it. I call check. Oh no, I do. I call it here. I would expect this to error here, but it's not. So this this client doesn't allow you. I don't think it allows you to send. The reference I use is this cluster API. They've changed it up a little bit since I've seen it. So they build this client like this. Let's see, which client do they use here? Yeah, they pull in the REST client. Basically, you can't do it with. This annoys me because you can't do it with the Kubernetes client, or not this client. The controller runtime client. So we'll have to bring in the REST client and use that. You can't send YAML basically or JSON to the server. You have to have the physical types, and the problem is that then means that you have to depend on everybody's types, and that means you have to pull in all of their projects, which is bloody nightmare. Because then you get because they're statically compiled, you get all their dependencies, and it gets out of control really quickly. Okay, so that's what we need to do. I need a cup of coffee. I think then this is looking really solid. I think maybe I'll switch over to something else. Or we can do this. I want to know what you guys want to do when I get back from making coffee. Do we want to do more Go? And we can start implementing the REST client here. Or do we want to do TypeScript and a React? Really simple. Really simple. So if you guys weren't here, I've been playing around with this, and I have given up for the time being on WebSockets in Wasm with Rust. I don't know whether it's Wasm, like the Wasm environment. I don't know if it's the Rust libraries. I can't get them to work. I am not good enough. I don't have enough time to waste. So my thought here is the front end instead of a Wasm library. Obviously, there's more testing I could do, but it's such a simple thing. I was just TypeScript, React, that's all. And it should take us an hour to pump out. Or we actually have the rest of this stuff. I know that we've talked about making this application more configurable. We can start doing that where it's not really configurable right now, and so we can just do Rust and make the app like better. Like right now, there's no configuration. There's hard coded some things, and we can fly through doing some of that, just making the application better. We can do the front end. There is no CSS, so you don't have to worry. There will be no Tailwind because it's really not CSSified at all. And it's just a dumb front end with a WebSocket connection. Okay, so you guys let me know what you'd like to do when I get back. I'm going to go off, make a cup of coffee, make sure my kids aren't killing each other. That's something you have to do as a parent and you have more than 3 kids. Well, I don't have more than 3 kids, but I have exactly 3. Sometimes you have to make sure that, yeah, sometimes you have to just make sure. All right, you never know. You never know what they're doing. All right, so I'm going to go do that. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody. And let me know what you'd like to do. And I'm back. Okay, you vote for TypeScript. That actually seems like a good idea. You're right. We need to have alerts showing on stream. Agreed. Let's get that down. 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 Done. Done. I kind of moved on to the server. One, to give a little variety. I feel like I had been doing a lot of Rust, and I wanted to get back into a little bit of Go. And two, I need to get the hosting part of it done eventually. So I was feeling feeling a little rough on the WebAssembly WebSockets. Like, felt pretty stupid trying to figure that stuff out. And I think I can do some more experiments and like narrow it down. Like, I can do a different WebAssembly. So I could do another language with WebAssembly and see if it has the same problem, because maybe it's the WebAssembly runtime that's killing it. You know, there's a lot of different things I could test, but I do just want to get some stuff done. So let's delete this. This was a test. Let's delete. Maybe that's it. All right, and then for the front end, we're going to delete all the stuff that's in here. Actually, I'm going to put it in old. I'm going to put it into a new folder called Wasm. New folder, Awesome. That way, in case I want to come back to it, I can. I liked it. Done. All right, now let's go and create a React app. All right. I don't remember the name to create a new React app. It's like create React app or something. All right, let's find out. Create new base React app. I'm not doing next because there is no reason for next. Like, there's no server side anything. It's just a front end. Here we go. Create React app. Wow, there's so many words before. All right, here we go. Do I actually have to install it? I think I can just do this, yeah. All right. We're just going to call this, what are we going to call this? We're going to call this, I don't want a folder called front end inside my folder front end, but, yep. And once we get the UI finished, then we can also start adding some configuration to it as well, so other people could use it if they wanted to. You know, like, one thing that I really want to do is make it configurable, like what it prompts the AI with. I really want to configure that. And I want it to have like 4 or 5 different ones. So like, or I want it to be in a list, an array of prompts that it asks, so that like you not only get variability in what it asks, but you also get you also get I don't know where I was going with that. Uh-oh. Did this not create it with... Oh, it's JavaScript. I thought it was going to ask me. TypeScript. Oh, gosh. create a React project with TypeScript, you just need to extend the normal bash command with 2 keywords. Ugh, my gosh. All right, let's delete this. And let's go back here. Template TypeScript. TypeScript. There's a T on the end of it. Very interesting. All right, TypeScript WebSocket. I've never done that before, so let's try that. How to implement WebSocket API JavaScript application. I said TypeScript. Oh, with TypeScript. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool. This looks like easy enough. Looks easy enough. All right, and we should have a React front end now with TypeScript. Nice. Let's get in there. cd React front end, npm install, npm start, npm start. Nice. All right. So there we've got it. Now we've just got to make a connection. So I feel like we should be able to just make this in, I'm going to make a new folder, WebSockets. I don't really know how to structure React applications that well. I've been around them, but usually they've been structured for me. I'm not usually the person creating them, so yeah, this might be wrong, but I'm just gonna, no. We suggest that you begin by typing. I just thought I was going to copy this whole block because that seemed pretty fantastic. We need to import this. Let's see, what is the library? This WebSocket library. Where's your import? I'm not worried about deserializing. I'm just going to send a string for right now. Not going to worry about handling login refresh. Not going to have a login. Okay, let's see this. Dependency free. Isn't it itself a dependency? I guess they're saying they don't have any dependency, so npm install WebSocket TS. This looks, let's see, this looks fine. How many weekly downloads? Almost 1,000. Feel like that's really small for this, but is there another WebSocket? WebSockets TS. Full stack universal TypeScript framework. I'm not sure what that is. A simple RPC WebSocket server. I'm not sure. The very popular WS library. Oh, there's a popular library. Simplify WebSockets by allowing you to wait upon requests. WS, is that what we need to search? Is that the... Simple to use, blazing fast, and thoroughly tested WebSocket client for Node for client and server Node.js. Okay, that's what we want. That's what we want. Is there a TypeScript? I guess there's types definitions for WS. Okay. Let's look at that. Okay. Simple to use, blazing fast, and thoroughly tested. Let's see installing. npm install. I probably am getting some viruses doing this. Oh gosh. Yep. Errors. Let's stop that. npm install WebSockets. Nice. I think that's... anyways, okay, so let's see. There's our import. Nice, nice, nice. Import WebSocket. I think this needs to be like a let here. Let WebSocket equal new WebSocket. I don't know. Feel like we need to store this variable somewhere. Maybe I'm missing the picture somewhere. I guess we don't really care as long as it stays around and we have these references to on, open, on. Maybe we don't care that this falls out of scope. I believe in Rust. I guess you wouldn't do it this way in Rust, so maybe that's fair. All right, we have new WebSocket server, which takes a port per message. Oh, this isn't. We don't want a new WebSocket server. We want a new WebSocket. And client options. We don't have any client options. Because on error. We're doing on open, on message, on error, but this is like this. I don't know. We're going to just remove the protocol for right now. All right. So for those of you just joining, I'm in TypeScript. I'm way out of my element. Way out of my element. So yeah, join me as I'm way out of my element. I'm doing some Twitch alerts in a fun way, and I have to make a UI for it. So all the Twitch alerts, the way they get into OBS is through a web front end. I was writing it in Wasm with Rust, and that just didn't work. So I was going to do it really simply, really easily in JavaScript, and well, that's what I'm doing right now. But I don't know JavaScript or TypeScript very well, so you'll have to bear with me as we figure it out. Or if you know it, you just let me know. Okay, so I think we can just do something on this. Don't care about that. I think just on message, we're just going to print message. Console.log. I think we can just do like event.data. Because I'm just sending a very prescriptive thing. And this URL we're going to super hard code for right now. This URL is, you know what? We're going to leave this as URL. And where we call this, which is going to be in our app.ts. Index. I don't know where. I guess this is where we would do this. Oh, it was 9,000, right? I'm pretty sure it's 9,000. We'll see if that's true or not. And this is, we can import this, right? Import from, well, it's in our WebSocket. It's right here, buddy. Right here. Oh, we didn't export this. My bad. Now we can import it, right? There we go. All right, this should just connect, right? I think this should work. This should work. Probably not. I have pretty much no idea what I'm doing. Okay, let's get the console up and running. Inspect console. All right, now you know what we need to do. We need to get our back end running. Front end API. In Kubernetes too long. Go doing the dashes instead of underscores. Then all we have to do here is cargo run this. Oh, it's upset. It's upset because we went through kind of. This used to be a Wasm project, so it was part of the workspace, but it's not anymore. So we got to remove that. It's not part of the workspace anymore. Okay, so that's out sending. Let's reload. Let's check the network. So we have this WebSocket here. Okay. Can I make is this just me, or like do I actually prefer Firefox's tools better? I think I offended people there, but I feel like I prefer Firefox's tools better. Okay. We're not getting a new connection here. So let's do the only thing I know how to do for a React application. Let's start adding console logs. I know that there's some I know that it's telling me right here that there's like some React dev tools that I should be installing. Let's install them for Firefox. I have to be in Firefox. Okay. Well, React just opened this. Let's actually open Firefox up. There we go. There we go. That's better. Spect is Q, capital Q. Okay. Should get better at that. All right. See, this is better. Okay, now I'll get the what? All right, now we go back to my original plan and start putting messages places. So there's one. Let's do here. Here. We need this is just receiving data. Beautiful. Come on. One of these has to run. It's rebuilding, right? NPM does that automatically. So let's see, WebSockets. It's getting called here. My understanding is that this should log here. But it's not. So maybe my understanding of what is wrong. What is calling that? Well, this is the app. This is like the main app. So I think that's called here in this yeah. Can I console log in a render call? I don't know how to do anything here. But this is like just making a DOM. Oh, you mean like in here. Okay, okay. I got what you're saying. How did putting a console log here cause it to error now? I don't understand the front end ever. It's actually running now. Without this, nothing. Nothing. Okay, whatever. WebSockets do not work in the browser. Browser clients must use native WebSocket objects. Oh. It said that it could be a client. It said server client. Oh, this module does not work in the browser. Why would you use it if it doesn't work in the browser? So is there just a native WebSocket? I don't have to import anything? Is that stop? Okay, this is interesting. The error above is in the app component. Consider adding error boundary to your tree. Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, I think I screwed this up. Check this out. This should the URL here should be WS. It should get upset if I didn't do the WS. Hey, there we go. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Let's see if it lasts longer than 20 seconds. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So now the only thing I have to do is add the timer. Um, yeah, that's all I have to do. Is I have to add the timer and display the text based off the timer. So that's going to be easy enough. I think what we're going to do is in this main app, we can delete most of this stuff. I'll leave the header, I guess. Wait, let me see what this is. So if we do that, we just have a blank page. We'll fix the CSS because really we want no CSS. And then I think we'll make a component. That maybe gets I think on this connect, we should pass this on message handler to that component. That's what we should do. We should tie those two things together. And that component needs to have the timer. So we'll just throw in a new folder here. This is weird. I should have had like a components folder. Actually, maybe that's what I'll do right now. And we'll put the WebSocket in there. Yep, move that. We'll delete update imports. Yes, please. And we will delete that. All right, and then in here we will create something called display. It's a TSX. Now this is the thing that somebody tried to get me to do like a template for. Never got that template to work. So I'll just go back to the good old copy and paste. Actually, maybe I'll have this component be the thing that connects to the WebSocket. And then it can also handle reconnect too. It's just this component. None of the other components need the WebSocket information. We don't need to be passing stuff down to the children. Complicating. React timer hook, because we need that queue timer hook. What? Okay, so here's the function on the timer. What are we doing with the timer? We are displaying. Okay, I'm going to go back to my old code, my old Wasm code. We did this pretty. Okay, yeah, because we sent the render messages basically. That's what we were doing. So we'd send a render message, and we just had a pretty simple queue. Okay. Now, okay, so question here with React. Question here with React. I'm trying to think this through. Previously on Adventures with Merrick, um, we did this here. So the WebSocket would get recreated anytime this object got recreated, but we don't have this object in React. It's just a function. So when does this function get called? Is it any time that there's a reason to redraw the DOM? Because that could be reconnecting to the WebSocket way more than I need to. And do I need to abstract this out into something else? I just don't want to keep calling connect. But I don't know, like, does this only get called on create? But you can dynamically update the DOM, so I feel like it might get called more. I don't know enough about the rendering here, so this is probably my bad. I'll just go with this is fine, and hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. So if we connect there, let's return this WebSocket object. Um, we're going to return this WebSocket. All right. So then what we need to do here is basically on a timer display a message. That's what we were. Okay, and that's what I was thinking of is like, is this timer going to work? Because what I didn't want to happen was the timer to re-render the front end, which would cause us to redraw. Also, my whole list, I need basically a queue, and I don't want my queue to get rewritten. So basically, I'm going to create a new queue here. Maybe it's const now. So I feel like I need some global state almost, actually. Not inside of this, which I'm not prepared to do today. Maybe this is a good Tuesday. Maybe this is a good let me research it and let me do it Tuesday. I have to get going anyways. It's 1. I have something to do at 2, so I need to get going. This is maybe a good let me think about it Sorry, I don't know React that well. I don't know front end that well. But yeah, I was thinking this should be like yeah, but not this. I think we can do this. So I think this is fine. And then we can use this timer. Use timer. React timer. Okay. We need to install this, don't we? I don't know that I'm really using TypeScript. I'm just kind of winging it. Let's see. I don't need this function call. I'm already in my app. So let's tab this back. Nope, nope, back. Oh. All right, so our timer is this here. We need to install it. Yep. Oh, I did. I did. So now we should just be able to import this. All right, that fixed something. Oh, no value exists for that. Oh, that was passed in. I don't know what a expiry timestamp is. Is that like the future where it expires? Is there an easier way to do that? It just needs timer settings. Yeah, it wants a date in the future. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. 1 second. So that's the timer, but I want like a reoccurring. Do I want? I guess every single time I show an event, I do want to start a timer. So I just need to calculate, you know, 5 seconds into the future. Okay, never mind. I do want this. And actually, that should come with the WebSocket call anyhow. So I just need to calculate that date. All right. So yeah, this needs to be on the. We need to make this function on message in here. So on message, we're going to create a timer with a new timestamp. And then we'll need to create a new date. Date dot now. Let's do this. Const timer end equals date dot now plus. How do you get like in the future? Oh, can we just do this? Is a date just literally um can I literally just add to it if this works? But what am I doing? What am I adding to it? It's a number, milliseconds. Okay. So it is just the January 1st, 1970. Okay. Okay, cool. So I can just add milliseconds to it. Plus we need what? We said let's just say 5 seconds is the standard. So we'll do 1 second for right now. 1000. 1000. So end timer is at 1000 from now. You don't like that. Oh boy. So we need a timer settings. Timer settings. And in timer settings, there was the date, right? Expiry timestamp. Okay. I think this will just create this. I don't need to do this. It's already in there. So why does this? We have the void, we have the function, we have the timer. Auto start. I guess we need to give it a true auto start. I thought this was optional, but maybe it's not. All right. Isn't true the boolean? What? Okay, and this is an interface of type date, which maybe I'm wrong here in this. Do I have to do like 1 second. Let me go back to this. Let me see. Uh Starting from this and above, default exporter use timer is deprecated, and your old code will still work, but it is better to start using named exports. Okay, sure. Why is this not working? I don't feel like it likes my date. Definitely doesn't like true. It's a bool though. Good, it's not that. How do I pass true? Just like... Oh, I see what it's doing. I see what it's doing. Okay, so this is auto start. It's wanting me to actually name them. Oh, I see. I see. I started. I thought it was deferring those, but inferring those, not deferring those. Okay. I think it really type number is not assignable to type date. I think it's really upset about this one. So how do I get a type of date? I don't know. I'm using date. Date.now. But that returns a number. Do I have to like wrap this in a new date object? Is that what I had to do? Oh. Of course that's what I had to do. Of course. All right. So we're going to delete this. We're going to do this right here. So on message is going to be set to this, which is going to do this and then expire on it. Am I running? No, I'm not running. Let me run. Well, that's a bummer. I thought I told it to update the imports. Oh, it didn't save it. It did update it. It didn't save the updated. There we go. We should see an expiry message, but we didn't. Connected to laptop, connected, receiving data. No expiry. Oh, I wonder if it keeps resetting the timer. Let's see. So I say use timer as this. I thought this would make a new one for each message, and then I was... Oh, it's on a console.warn. So let's do log here. Just make sure it's not getting filtered. I have all of them actually, though. We'll try that. Still not getting expiration. The other thing is we need to delete this. Make sure that's not being called. Yeah, our function is not getting called. So interestingly, here, this all works fine. But if I set on message here, It's not working. I mean, I can just pass the function here. Um, if that's what we need to do. Um, I just thought this would work. Obviously, I thought wrong. Obviously, I thought wrong. Um, do I understand why? No. No, I don't. But I think I can just do this then, right? Uh, and then just do it right here. And then just here, put on message. Here, and just be done with it. I'm just not quite sure why. That's why it was working. It was just the connect from the app that was getting called because I never used the component that we made. That's called display alert. Display alert. One second. I'm not sure if I actually named it correctly. No, I didn't. Display alert. That's why. Ah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so fix that. We can I think we can just go back and do it how I was doing it. Like this. That felt better. I feel like than this. All right. Let's run now. Okay. Finally, we have this running. Cannot find app CSS. That's fine. I don't want app CSS. Good. And we don't need these either as imports. Rules of hooks. Oh. Uh-oh. I've done a bad. The React hook use timer is called in function on message that is neither a React function component nor a custom React hook. React component names must start with an uppercase letter. React hook names must start with the word use. Oh, is it upset that I made this a function? Would this use timer be okay in here? Is that what it's saying? Okay. Okay, so yeah. It doesn't like that it's in a message, and this is a React hook. Seems like a great problem for next week. I'm sure that there's a standard pattern for this that I'm just not getting. I want it to be here because this is like on the WebSocket messages that I'm getting. So, and for each WebSocket, I want a new timer. But this has to do with React hooks, and I don't know enough about React hooks, so that's going to be it for me today. Thanks everyone for joining, for watching. It was great to see you all, and I will see you guys tomorrow.